Yo, what is up guys? It's me, exactly. The Atlanta Hawks as a team, they never really interested me at all. When I was growing up as an NBA fan, the Hawks were always just that team that's been good. Nothing more, nothing really less. They've always just been good, mediocre. Even the seasons when it seemed like they were about to be something more than just good, it turned out that they were still just a good team. They were never the most fun team to watch, so of course I never went out of my way to watch any Atlanta Hawks games. There's nothing personal, Hawks fans. I'm sure you guys feel the same way about my Detroit Pistons. Ain't no Hawks fan going out of their way to watch a Pistons game. However, even though that might be how I felt about the Atlanta Hawks in the past, I'm not ashamed to admit that it's kind of changing. I'm still not gonna go out of my way to watch an Atlanta Hawks game. I can still say that I'm excited to see what this team is going to become in the very near future. Okay, so the Atlanta Hawks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves last night 131-123. Trae Young in this game logging 36 points as well as having 10 assists, becoming just the third rookie ever to log back-to-back 35-plus point games while also having at least 5 assists. The only other two rookies to ever do this were Michael Jordan and Allen Iverson, so that is some beyond elite company for Trae Young to enter in just his rookie year. And this is where I kind of have to eat some of the words that I might have said earlier in the season, because earlier on in this season, I was making fun of the Atlanta Hawks for choosing Trey Young over Luka Doncic. I thought they would have to be outside of their mind to choose Trey Young over Luka Doncic. And even now, though many fans would take Luka Doncic over Trey Young if they had to pick one of the two players to start their franchise with, let's not sit up here and act like having to start your franchise with Trey Young would be the worst thing ever. And based upon how he's been playing for about the past month, you could even make an argument for possibly decided to take Trey Young over Luka Doncic. Not saying that I would, but if someone did, I could maybe see their argument as for why they would do that. See, for the past month, Trey Young has been absolutely balling out. During the month of February, throughout the 12 games that he's played, Trey Young was playing at an all-star level. He was playing like a point guard who's already established himself and is ready to lead his team deep into the NBA postseason, averaging over 23 points, 9 assists, and 4 rebounds per game while shooting 43% from 3. And it doesn't even stop there, as during the 4 games that Trey Young has played since the All-Star break, he's gotten even better. The man has gotten even better, averaging over 31 points per game, the same in 9 assists per game, and shooting 50% from beyond the arc, literally silencing everyone who was ever questioning his ability to shoot the ball. And that's the one thing I can say that I didn't do. Even though I did get in the Hawks for taking Trey Young over Luka Doncic, I never doubted the kid's ability to shoot, even when he was struggling to shoot early in the season, because I saw a guy that clearly had the confidence in himself, that clearly knew he could shoot, but whose shot just wasn't falling. It was obvious to see that all it was going to take was him getting used to the NBA range, and then his shot would start to fall. The kid was killing it in college, shooting from well beyond the three-point line, so why on earth would we ever doubt that he could do the same thing in the NBA once he got used to NBA level competition? So I'm glad that Young never lost confidence in himself even when he couldn't hit his shots earlier on in the season. And if Trae Young coming into his own as a player by himself isn't enough reason for you guys to be excited about this Atlanta Hawks team, then what I almost just absolutely murdered this microphone. But anyways, as I was saying, what if there was another young star on the Atlanta Hawks as well? How would you feel about them then? If that would change your mind, then it's time for you to change their mind, because they do have another young star in John Collins. This guy should low-key definitely be in the running to win Most Improved Player this year. See, last year, he was a rookie that had potential, averaged 10 points and 7 rebounds per game. So he definitely showed potential. However, this year, the man has been a walking 2010 machine, averaging 20 points and 10 rebounds per game for the Atlanta Hawks. And last night, he went out there and dropped over 30 alongside Trae Young. That's looking like it's going to be a very dangerous duo for the Atlanta Hawks. And not to mention, they have another nice young player that Hawks fans seem to love in Kevin Huerter. If he can develop next season after his rookie season, that will only help the Hawks get better. And not to mention, it's still looking like the Hawks are about to land a top 5 pick in this year's draft to go alongside Trae Young, John Collins, and the other young talent the Atlanta Hawks have available. So even though the Hawks are bad this year, even though we all kind of made fun of the Atlanta Hawks to start the season, even though for like the past 10 years it seems like they were stuck in that vicious cycle of mediocrity, after just a couple of seasons of completely tanking to rebuild, it's already looking like the Atlanta Hawks are about to have a very bright future. So I gotta give props to them as an organization. I gotta give props to Trae Young, and I gotta give props to John Collins. Those guys have been killing it. We spent a good portion of yesterday's video talking about the Boston Celtics, so I really don't want to talk about this for too long, but I do still have to talk about the Boston Celtics. See, they just lost their 6th game in their past 8 games. This loss coming to the Portland Trail Blazers 97-92. Damian Lillard out-dueling Kyrie Irving. Damian Lillard had 33 points, while Kyrie Irving had 31 points. And speaking of Kyrie Irving, after the Celtics got blown out by the Toronto Raptors the other night, Kyrie Irving was really silent during his post-game interview. We talked about how Marcus Smart said the team isn't playing together, and Kyrie Irving really didn't say much during his post-game interview. However, after this loss to the Portland Trail Blazers, that kind of changed. Kyrie Irving came out and said that he cannot wait for all of this regular season BS to be behind them and to get into the postseason, and that's when he believes the Celtics will start playing their best basketball. And he believes that when the Celtics are playing their best basketball, then no other team in the Eastern Conference will be able to touch them.
I can't wait for all this other BS about regular season and keep getting better and talking over and over and over again about what we can do to keep getting better in the regular season. I just want to be at the highest level playing, and that's what I'm here for. So, I don't think anybody in the Eastern Conference could, really compete with us at a high level when we're playing the way we're supposed to be playing.
Like I said, I don't want to talk about the Boston Celtics too long because I just gave you guys my opinion on the Boston Celtics yesterday. But I do have to touch on this for a second, and the one thing I want to talk about that kind of relates to what I said yesterday is Kyrie Irving pretty much saying that he wants all of this regular season BS to be over with. I said in yesterday's video that the one thing that might be able to save the Boston Celtics this season is the playoffs, because we all know they have a lot of talent, but with a lot of talent comes a lot of egos. Those egos aren't necessarily meshing together so well for the Boston Celtics this year, and that's why they've been so disappointing. However, one more thing that comes along with ego is pride. And this Boston Celtics team definitely has no shortage of pride. So when their pride is on the line in the playoffs, that's when I do think that they will rally together and look more or less like the team that we thought they were going to look like. If the Lakers had lost this game, madness would have broken out, and I probably would have been talking about LeBron James snapping on his teammates again, so I'm kind of glad that the Lakers didn't lose this game. 125-119 the final score as the Lakers get the win over the Pelicans. LeBron James with 33 points and 10 assists, and Rondo, after playing terribly for his past few games, showed up to do something in this one with 11 points, 16 assists, and 7 rebounds. Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Pelicans, I gotta talk about Anthony Davis a little here because, of course, the Pelicans are still putting him on this strict minutes restrictions. Strict minutes restrictions. Yeah, 10 times fast. Strict minutes restrictions. And that frustrates me. It really frustrates me to see Anthony Davis sitting on the bench at the end of a close game. A game where if he played his normal minutes, if he played down the stretch, there's no doubt that that would have changed the outcome of this game. So it does suck to see a guy like that sitting on the bench at the end of close games. But I can't really fault the Pelicans for it because they're just trying to look out for the future of their organization. If Anthony Davis were to get hurt playing in one of these games, they're not going to be able to trade him for as much as they would be able to if he was completely healthy. And if we're up to them, Anthony Davis wouldn't be playing at all, but the league isn't going to allow that because the league doesn't want the Pelicans to set a bad precedent of just sitting your star player for the rest of the NBA. So it's a very awkward situation for everyone involved. The league, the Pelicans, Anthony Davis, and then the fans watching the game too, because we don't get to see what would really happen if Anthony Davis was in the game at the end of a close game against the Los Angeles Lakers or just any team. That sucks. After being a running joke in the NBA for how poorly the organization has been run for the past decade, the Sacramento Kings are quickly starting to become one of everyone's favorite teams in the league, and a team that people want to see do well including myself. I want to see this Sacramento Kings team win games. I don't know why. I just really like this team that Sacramento has put together. They're a lot of fun to watch. They go out there and they compete. Once again, no one thought they would be this good this year, and that for sure has something to do with it. If you didn't respect the Sacramento Kings before, then after this game, they have to have earned some of your respect, because going up against the best team in the NBA record-wise, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Kings didn't back down for a single second. They were trading blow for blow with the Milwaukee Bucks and even forced this game to go into overtime. However, that's when the Kings ultimately lost. And even though I do have a lot of respect for the Sacramento Kings, I do have some bad news for Sacramento Kings fans, as Marvin Bagley did go down with an injury after being hit with a hard screen in this game. Man hurt his knee and is currently wearing a knee brace, and that sucks to see, because Marvin Bagley as a player was finally starting to come into his own recently. He's been playing extremely well for the past few games, had a 32-point game last week, and then for his past few games, he was scoring the ball well and rebounding the ball extremely well too. So it sucks to see him go down right now when he was finally starting to put it all together, and hopefully this injury doesn't keep him sidelined for too long. Dwayne Wade just left the Warriors a little gift for his last time playing against them, and I don't think he could have asked for a better ending for his last game against the best team in the league, as Wade hit the off-balance heave from the chest one-legged shot at the buzzer to get the Heat the 126-125 win over the Warriors. Other time can take away a lot of things from Dwayne Wade, but they can never take away the clutchness, it seems. What a legend, gonna be sad to see him go. I know Kemba Walker says he plans to resign with the Hornets, and the Hornets do want to keep him too, but I'm still interested to see if any other teams out there can persuade Walker to leave this summer, since once again, the Hornets are having their typical season. They're gonna make the playoffs, but that's about it, and it's not going to be with a good record or anything either. They lost to the Rockets yesterday, 118-113. Harden with 30 points on the night, and with this loss, the Hornets are now 28-33 on the year. So like I said, on par to make the playoffs in the East, but once again, with like a sub 500 record. That's just because you're in the East. That's the only reason you're making the playoffs. The Utah Jazz beat the Los Angeles Clippers, and for the Clippers, that was actually a pretty hard loss, as it knocks them right back down to the 8th seed, and considering that the Lakers just won, it also brings them a lot closer to not making the playoffs. 111-105, Donovan Mitchell with 32 points. Luka Doncic is still amazing, and the Mavericks get the win over the Pacers, 110-101. Doncic with 26 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. For the Pacers though, they are now without Domantas Sabonis as well. He was injured in the last game against the Pistons and didn't play tonight. And now they're without Victor Oladipo and Domantas Sabonis, it's gonna be very rough for Indiana, so hopefully Sabonis is able to come back pretty soon. The San Antonio Spurs put an end to the Pistons winning streak with a 105-93 win. LaMarcus Aldridge with 24 points. And lastly for the day, the Washington Wizards beat the Brooklyn Nets thanks to Bradley Beal and his 31 points. That is going to cover everything that we gotta talk about today though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really can't thank you enough for coming back Monday through Friday to watch these videos. It means the world to me. Thank you once again for watching though. You guys are to know that you are the real MVPs. Today is Thursday, meaning that tomorrow is Friday, so I will be right back here tomorrow to talk more NBA with you guys, but until then, I'm out of here. Peace!